everybody's favorite, chocolate cookies. So the recipe I'm going to be making today, it's a great recipe because it's a smaller recipe. So sometimes you find these recipes online and it makes 2 dozen cookies, and you don't want 2 dozen cookies, you just want maybe a dozen. So this is a great recipe for that. Doesn't make a lot. Also, it's a kind of more of a softer, cakey cookie. There's 1,000,001 different chocolate chip cookie recipes out there, and some people like crispy ones, some people like soft ones. This is more of a kind of soft, cakey cookie. So, we are going to get started. When we make cookies, a lot of times you're going to start off by creaming your butter and your sugar together. So I'm going to be using my Kitchenaide mixer today. I have my paddle attachment on here, and I'll show you that. Okay, we don't want to use the whisk attachment because if we use the whisk, then all your cookie dough is going to get stuck inside the whisk attachment. I want to use this one. So I'm going to plug that in. Have my attachment on. Okay, so creaming ingredients. Typically, we are creaming some type of whatever our fat is. So that could be shortening, that could be butter, that could be margarine, that could be lard, and our sugar. So that could be brown sugar or granulated sugar, just your white sugar. So for this particular recipe, we are going to be using butter and shortening as our fat. Now, let's talk about butter. Okay, so if you have a stick of butter, that is 8 tablespoons. Okay, or half of a cup. So this recipe calls for 1/4 of a cup. So if we look here, I know it's a little bit hard. Okay, we can see our 8 tablespoons here. So I can just count off 1, 2, 3, 4. I can cut right there, and then I get my 1/4 of a my 1/4 of my cup. I don't have to measure it put it into a measuring cup. Now the recipe calls for our butter to be softened. We don't want it super hard right out of the fridge because it won't cream well. You'll get chunks of your butter throughout. So I personally like to put it in the microwave just for a couple seconds. Keep an eye on it. You can leave it out on the counter, let it sit out there as long as it's not in that danger zone for too long. But we want it softened. So I actually did mine a little bit too much, so mine's a little bit liquidy, but it'll be okay. So that's going to go into my mixing bowl. And then we're using shortening as our other fat. Now, name brand is Crisco, okay? Hydrogenated vegetable oil. They take vegetable oil, they pump hydrogen into it, they pump air into it, and then it turns it into a solid. So it looks like this. It's kind of sticky, it's greasy, but what we do when we measure it is we have to pack it. It's one of our 3 solid ingredients. So I'm going to take my rubber scraper, and I'm going to push my shortening. I'm going to pack my shortening into my measuring cup, my dry measuring cup, and I'm just going to level that off on the top like that. Now, I'm not going to get rid of my rubber scraper quite yet because I'm going to need that to scrape it into my mixing bowl. So that's going to go in there. So that is that. Now, this is, like I said, this is more of a cakey, soft chocolate chip cookie. So we are using more brown sugar. The proportions of your granulated sugar to your brown sugar can give you either a crunchy cookie or a soft cookie. So in this case, we're using more brown sugar than we are granulated sugar, 1/4 of a cup of granulated sugar to 1/2 of a cup of brown sugar. So that's going to give us more of our cakey cookie. So I'm going to put that into my mixing bowl, and I'm going to cream these ingredients together. So essentially what I'm doing, I'm incorporating all these ingredients, mixing them all together. I'm also adding in air. Let that go. So all my ingredients so far are pretty well incorporated together. Because we've softened that butter, you can't even really see the mixture between the butter and the sugars. It's all mixed together, and that's what we want. So I'm going to take my rubber scraper, and I'm going to scrape down the sides of my bowl because as we add things, as we add more ingredients, we want to make sure everything's getting incorporated together. So next I'm going to add my egg, and in here as well I have my vanilla as well. So that's going to go into my mixing bowl. We're just going to mix that up again. Depending on your cookie recipe, whether you're adding more than 1 egg, it might tell you to beat after each egg, meaning that you would put 1 egg in, you'd mix, put another egg in, mix, all that. So again, I'm going to take my rubber scraper, I'm going to scrape down my paddle attachment here, and I'm going to scrape down the sides of my mixing bowl. And now it is time for my dry ingredients. So in here, here I have my dry ingredients, which is my flour. I have my baking soda and I have my salt. Now, let's talk about baking soda versus baking powder. These two are not interchangeable, okay? We cannot use one for the other. So let's say you're making these cookies and say, oh, I don't have baking soda, so I'm gonna use baking powder. It's not gonna be good, okay? They're not interchangeable. They need different things to react. In our case, we're gonna be using baking soda. Baking soda needs an acid in our mixture to react. In our case, the brown sugar is acting as an acid, which is gonna help your cookies rise when we put them in the oven. So again, I have my flour in here, I have my salt, I have my baking soda. I'm gonna mix this in a different bowl, and then I could incorporate it together, and then it makes it a lot easier to go into here. So I'm gonna incorporate that. And we're gonna give that a mix. Once we add our flour, we don't want to overmix, because if we overmix, we're going to overdevelop the gluten, and that can give us tough cookies. We want to mix it just kind of till everything's incorporated. Looking into my mixing bowl, I see I have some flour that kind of flew up onto the sides of my mixing bowl when it started mixing. So again, I'm going to take my rubber scraper, I'm going to scrape down the sides of my bowl, and I'm going to mix it a little bit more. Again, you don't want to bite into your cookie and get a chunk of flour, a chunk of baking soda, salt, something like that. So we're just going to mix that a little bit more. So everything is mixed together. Okay. Now, for our last ingredient, and our very important ingredient when we're making chocolate chip cookies, is the chocolate chips. So I have a half a cup of my chocolate chips measured. Now, some recipes tell you to mix the chocolate chips in by hand, meaning that you could use a rubber scraper, you could use a 1 spoon, and you would mix that in. I personally just throw them in. It breaks them up a little bit, but I don't really mind that with my cookies. So that's up to you, and of course you'd want to follow your recipe for that. Okay, so half a cup of my chocolate chips go in. Make sure we get all of them. Incorporated. So I'm going to scrape my attachment off. We don't want to let any of this cookie dough go to waste. So scrape as much of this off as we can. Now, something I want to talk about. Might have noticed that I have not preheated my oven. Haven't talked about preheating my oven at all, because we are not going to go ahead and bake these quite yet. A lot of times with your cookie dough, and a good cookie dough recipe is going to tell you to chill the dough. If I were to just go ahead and bake this right now, especially it's warm today, my cookies could turn into kind of pancake cookies, because the cookie batter is kind of warmed up, that when I go to bake these, they're going to spread out. By chilling your dough, even if it's just for an hour, sometimes it could be 2, you could even do it overnight. If we were in school, I would have you do it overnight. It's going to kind of help kind of solidify all those ingredients, and going to prevent those cookies from really spreading out too much. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to take this cookie dough, I'm going to put saran wrap over the top of my bowl. You could even put the cookie dough into a plastic bag if you wanted to as well. And again, if we were in school, I would have you do that. And then this is going to go into the fridge. I would say at least an hour. If you want to do more, you can do more. You can definitely do that. Okay, so into the fridge it will go. Okay, so we're back. So cookie dough has been chilling, so that's ready to go. I preheated my oven to 350 degrees according to my recipe. And I'm going to grab my cookie sheets, and we're going to start portioning these out. Now, I personally like to use parchment paper. When I make cookies, it makes life a whole lot easier. It's an oven-proof, oven-safe paper that can go over your cookie sheets. Makes cleanup a lot easier, and it prevents your cookies from sticking. So a lot of times, and this particular recipe calls for an ungreased cookie sheet, so you could just use a cookie sheet without, or you could use a cookie sheet with parchment paper. That's up to you. Now, 2 methods for scooping out our cookie dough. If you have a cookie scoop, looks like a little mini ice cream scoop. This is my personal preferred way of scooping out my cookie dough. So what you do with that, you would scoop, and then we would just plop that down onto your cookie sheet. And we have a little bit of a glare here. There we go. So this is great for portioning. I ensure all of my cookies are going to be the same size because they're all coming from this cookie scoop and they're all just going to be the same size. So this is great because once these go into the oven, I want them all to bake evenly in the same amount of time. So by using my cookie scoop, I can ensure they're all going to be done at the same time. Now let's say you don't have a cookie scoop at home, no problem. Grab 2 spoons, just your regular spoons you eat your cereal with in the morning. What we're going to do is you're going to scoop with one of your spoons, and then we're going to push off with the other onto your cookie sheet. So again, we're going to scoop with one, we're going to push off with the other. Now, again, we're not going to get the consistency that we would if we were, there we see them, consistency that we would get if we're using our cookie scoop because some of them can be big, some of them can be small. This recipe just calls for heaping spoonfuls. So we don't really have a specific, it's not 2 tablespoons, 1 tablespoon of cookie dough, anything like that. Notice that I put some space between my cookies, my my cookie dough spoonfuls here. What's going to happen when these bake? These are going to spread out. If we put them very, very close together on our cookie sheet, they're going to spread out and they're going to end up touching. And then if you have too many on here, you're going to end up with a giant pizza cookie or cookie pancake, something like that. So put some space, about 2 inches between, to give them some space for when they bake, they're going to spread out. Okay, so again, my oven has preheated at 350 degrees. I'm just going to finish filling all this up. And my cookie sheet up. Again, we don't want to overcrowd it too much. These are going to go into the oven for 8 minutes. Now, depending on the size of your cookies, they may take less, they may take more. There's different sizes of cookie scoops, and again, if you're using the 2-spoon method, sometimes they can be a little bit bigger, a little bit smaller, so they could take a little bit more time. What we're looking for is kind of golden brown around the edges. Doesn't look doughy anymore, and we just take them out once they look good. You can leave them on the cookie sheet, maybe a minute or 2 to kind of harden up, solidify a little bit, but we don't want to leave them on the cookie sheet because if we leave them on here, they're going to continue to bake. Because if you think about it, your cookie sheet has been in the oven, 350-degree oven, for almost 10 minutes. It's going to hold on to some heat, and we don't want our cookies to continue to bake. So we want to take those off. You could transfer them to a wire rack. Move them to a wire rack like this, okay? Has little portions throughout, has little feet that's going to help it stand up, get some air circulating under here. If we put these right on the counter, right on the plate, they can get some condensation and then you can end up with soggy cookies. With that said also, we don't want to go ahead and put these right into a bag, right into a container of some type while they're warm because they're going to give off steam and they're going to end up with soggy cookies, and we don't want soggy cookies. Okay, so good luck at your chocolate chip cookies. You could add, now I use semi-sweet for this. You can use milk chocolate, you could use white chocolate, you can use a mixture. So you can kind of put your own spin on these cookies. So happy baking, good luck. I will put the recipe for this for these chocolate chip cookies in the video description. As always, be good, be nice, be kind, and have a fantastic rest of your day. See you later.